Okay, so Elliot has 8 numbered cards, and all the information they give us in the question will be important to answering the question. So the first bit of information is the probability of an 8 is 1/4. So I've got to figure out how many cards with the number 8 are written on them. So the way I do that is I do 8, which is the number of cards, times by the probability, 1/4, and that equals 2. So what that tells us is there are 2 cards with 8 written on them. So another way to think about that is just what is 1/4 of 8, and that's 2. So there should be 2 cards with 8 on them. So I have one already, so I fill in another one. So that bit's done. The next bit I'll go to is the bottom bit of information. So the probability of a 7 is half. So again, it's a similar thing. There are 8 cards. The probability is a half, so I do half of 8, and I get 4. There should be 4 cards with the number 7 written on them. So I'll fill in 4 7s here. Okay, now we're left with these 2 bits of information. I'm going to deal with the range first. So the range of a set of numbers is the biggest take away the smallest. So biggest take away smallest. Now, the biggest number we have here is 8. So let's call 8 our biggest number. So if the range is 5, then the biggest take away the smallest, so 8 take away the smallest, should equal 5, which means the smallest number should be 8 take away 5, which is 3. So the smallest number should be 3. But there's another possibility. What if the biggest number isn't actually part of this set of data? In other words, what if 6 is the smallest number and we have to find the biggest number? So we could say the range is also equal to the biggest subtract the smallest, but I'll call it 6 now, if we pretend this 6 here is our smallest number, and that should equal 5, just like they said up here, so the range is 5. Now if the biggest minus 6 equals 5, then the biggest should be 11. So we have 2 possibilities now for this final card. It could be 11, or it could be 3. If it was 11, the range would be 6. The range would be 5, sorry, because it'd be 11, the biggest, take away 6, the smallest, and that would give a range of 5. And also, it could be 3, because the biggest would be 8, take away 3 would give the range of 5. So they both work to give a range of 5. But now we look at this third bit of information. The probability of a number greater than 10 is 0. So what that tells us is none of these numbers will be bigger than 10. So we can cancel out this 11 because 11 is bigger than 10. And therefore, the only number that will work is 3. So now we have all our cards and we can check we're correct. The probability of an 8 is quarter. We should have 2 8s. That's correct. The range of the numbers is 5, or the biggest take away the smallest. 8 take away 3 is 5, so that's correct. The probability of a number greater than 10 is 0. There should be no numbers bigger than 10, and that's correct. And the probability of a 7 is half, so there should be 4 7s, and that is correct too. So these are our 8 numbers.